Hello again everyone, this is Totter333 and today I'm going to be showing you how to create your own custom cursor in the Blender game engine. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is set the draw type to textured, and we're going to enable GLSL material setting. You don't have to, but it will make things a lot easier if you have a graphics card that supports it. So yeah, the next thing we're going to need to do is delete that default cube and go ahead and add a plane. Now this plane is going to represent our cursor, so we're going to scale that down to make it more cursor sized, and we're also going to give it a new material, and I'm just going to name it cursor. It's always good to get in the habit of naming your materials. And I'm also going to load a texture. Now whatever texture you load needs to be a .png or some other file format that supports an alpha channel. So go ahead and download that or create it if you can. I'm not going to show you anything that I create because my art is absolutely awful. So here I have my image, and you can see that it's not really transparent. So in order to do that, we're going to set the alpha all the way down, and we're also going to enable Z transparency. The next thing we're going to need to do is go to map to, and we're going to select alpha. And you can see there now it's actually transparent. The other thing that helps visually is to make it shadeless, and that makes it so you don't have to worry about light. The problem with this though is we haven't really set a UV, and we're going to need to unwrap one of those and rotate it, and there you see you have a nice little cursor. So for this next part, we're going to need to get into a little bit of Python. And a lot of you go, oh no, I don't want to try Python. Well, luckily for you, I have posted all of my code in the description, so you can pretty much just copy and paste all of that. And I'm just going to do that very thing. And here you can see it's only about 5 lines, so it's not very complicated. And we're going to go ahead and set up the logic breaks for this. So for this first part, you want these sensors to be a mouse and mouse over any sensor. And you also want it to be true level triggering. And we're also going to want to set a always sensor and set that to true as well. And go back here and you'll notice it has a name, and for our mouse script, we have said that we need a sensor, and we have called it by name. And so in the script, you can see here that the name of the sensor is movement. So we need to give it that sensor and just name that movement. This one doesn't matter. This is just so that the script runs. And yeah, we're also going to need to actually enable the Python controller and type in here whatever you named your text file. So there you have it. That's that, and you can see here now you have a nice little cursor. And one thing to remember is that this cursor really only works all that well when you are in orthographic mode. And you can see there I switched out of it, and that is the result, and it's not very pretty. So I'm going to show you a couple of tips for setting up a scene with that. So I'm just going to add a new camera, and I'm going to move it up. And you can see here that if I press play, it does that same thing, and you really don't want that. So the way that you would fix that is either make your cursor very, very tiny, or set your camera to orthographic. And this is a lot simpler for when you're designing a user interface. And also you can set some things like the scale. So this will allow us to do that, and essentially setting the scale in this case will set the cursor size as well. We're going to make it about 20. So that looks about right, and you guys are probably seeing the little loading cursor from Vista. However, when you are actually playing, it will not look like that. That is just because of my screen recorder, so no worries there. So yeah. That's how you do it. I hope you guys have fun. I realize that this short was a little bit quick and dirty. However, if you want to go into more detail on how to do this and what's actually happening, you'll probably want to look up some documentation online. But for this tutorial, that's how you get it to work if you absolutely need to. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Totter333 signing out.